Josh Rosen has been all over the media recently. And this weekend, that caused me to develop an obsession. I watched every single game from Josh Rosen's rookie season. And my goal was to determine, is he any good? Does he suck? Should I believe in him? And what I ended up with was 8 things that defined Josh Rosen's rookie season. And I was able to eventually determine whether or not I believe in him. So I want to say this. First, the number one thing that defined Josh Rosen's rookie season, not in order, not the most important, but the first thing I want to talk about is late throws. He was late often, all the time. And that's not entirely his fault. Like, a lot of that is because he's a young quarterback learning a new offense and learning how to speed up the game. He just looked like he was processing things really slowly last year. He was really often late on timing throws. Throws that require precise timing. Hitch routes, stop routes. On a hitch route, you got to throw the ball before the receiver makes their break. And if a receiver is out of their break and waiting for the ball, then it's too late. And that happened a lot for Josh Rosen. He was throwing the ball late on timing routes, which allowed defenders to make plays on the ball. He also developed a habit out of nowhere. He didn't do this in college. Josh Rosen developed a habit of hitching unnecessarily. A hitch is where you have the ball in your hands and you step towards the line of scrimmage. You pause, you wait longer before you throw the football. A great example is a 10-yard out against the Broncos. It's a simple throw. I know for a fact, because I played on the same field as Josh Rosen in high school at quarterback camps. Josh Rosen throws a 10-yard out really well. And I know he did this over and over and over again growing up. He could throw a 10-yard out in his sleep. But for whatever reason, I think he was either processing the defense or he just hesitated because he was nervous. Josh Rosen hitched up towards the ball, towards the receiver, for no reason. And he was late on the throw, which allowed a defender to make a play on the ball. It's not something typical of Josh Rosen. And there are 2 in particular throws I want to highlight. One was completed, one was not, but these are both egregiously late throws. The first one is on a levels concept against the Raiders. There are 2 medium crossers with a deep post behind it. A concept like this, you read it low to high, meaning that you run play action, which is a fake run, and the minute you flip around from play action, you get your eyes on the linebackers, the lowest part of the field. What are the linebackers doing? If they sucked up towards the line of scrimmage, there's probably a window to throw to the 2 shallow crossers, unless the safety steps up towards the line of scrimmage as well. You read it from the linebackers, then to the safety, then find the post. So the linebackers bit a little bit on the play action fake, which normally would mean there's a window to throw the digs. However, the safety behind it stepped up towards the line of scrimmage, meaning there was nothing but green grass behind him. The post opened up right behind the safety. And Josh Rosen took a long, long time, for whatever reason. Josh Rosen took a long time to process this. It takes him too long to recognize, oh, the safety stepped up. I got to throw the post right behind the safety. He throws the ball really, really late. And I mean, he holds the ball for like 6.5 seconds. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds. And by the time Josh Rosen eventually throws this football, it allows the backside safety to make a play on the ball. If he just let it go earlier, it's a huge completion, maybe even a touchdown. And multiple times I saw Josh Rosen do this. He made the right read eventually, but it took him way too long to get there. And by the time he got there, he was late and he threw an incomplete pass because he allowed the defense to make a play on the ball. His process needs to speed up. Bang, bang, bang. Linebacker, safety, throw the football. There's a similar play against the Lions. It's a deep post, which clears out, and there is a dig. Larry Fitzgerald runs a dig underneath. So that there's a deep post, like a 40-yard post, which is supposed to make the safety get depth. And then underneath that comes Larry Fitzgerald across the middle of the field. The play side safety gets a bunch of depth. The play side safety takes away the post immediately. He bails to cover the post, which leaves the middle of the field wide open. Larry Fitzgerald is running all the way across the field with nobody, just a guy behind him, nothing but green grass. He's wide open. In NFL terms, this is wide open. And Josh Rosen simply takes way too long to get his eyes from the deep post onto Larry Fitzgerald. Eventually, he does the right thing. Eventually, he gets there. He completes the pass. He's fortunate. But the mental process needs to speed up for Josh Rosen. It's got to happen faster. The second thing, so that's one thing. Josh Rosen was late all the time throwing the football. The second thing Josh Rosen did during his rookie year, and really the second thing that defines Josh Rosen's rookie season, was that his offensive line was awful. Some of that's not Josh Rosen's fault. His offensive line was horrendous. He was sacked 45 times. 45 times Josh Rosen was sacked. That's 15 more sacks than every other rookie quarterback. Pro Football Focus ranked Josh Rosen's offensive line with the Cardinals the very worst in the NFL in 2018. I think it's really funny. If you compare Josh Rosen's rookie stats to other rookie quarterbacks from 2018, he actually stacks up all right. Josh Rosen played 14 games, had 11 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, a 55% completion percentage, and 2,278 yards. Sam Darnold and Josh Rosen had similar numbers. Sam Darnold and Josh Allen and Josh Rosen all had similar numbers. They all had they're not that far apart. The Jets and the Bills are so confident they found their future franchise quarterback. Jets fans say, we have Sam Darnold, he's the man. Bills fans say, we have Josh Allen, he is the man. And the Cardinals, on the other hand, go, nah, our guy stinks. Sam Darnold had 17 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, a 57% completion percentage, 2,865 yards. Josh Allen, 12 games, 10 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, a 52% completion percentage, and 2,074 yards. They're splitting hairs. There's about like a 600-yard difference between all of them in passing yards. They're both in the mid-50s for completion percentage, in the teens for touchdowns and interceptions. They're not that different. And yet, for whatever reason, Cardinals fans are bailing. They're ready to move on from Josh Rosen after just 1 year. It's very, very bizarre to me. It seems like Josh Rosen had a typical rookie year. And you'll see there are 6 more things that defined Josh Rosen's rookie season in 2018. He certainly needs to get better. He's not a fantastic, amazing quarterback, but he's not far off from success. He's there. He's right there. He's so close. If you make a bunch of really small improvements, that's going to go a long way to help Josh Rosen attain success. It's also worth noting, his coaching staff did not do him any favors. The Cardinals' offensive coaching was atrocious. They had consistently bad play design, bad play calls. It's also, you got to mention, his offensive coordinator, Mike McCoy, was fired after just 7 games. The Cardinals' offensive coaching staff was a mess last year. They didn't help their players. They didn't set them up to succeed. And one of their guys got fired. Their offensive coordinator got fired. It's not good. And that leads me to the third thing that defines Josh Rosen's rookie season. It's bad play design. Right off the bat, there's a 3rd and 7 against the Falcons. The Falcons run cover 1, which means that it's man coverage. Every receiver has a man covering them. And then there's a safety deep over the top, helping to cover deep throws. And the Cardinals make the absolute worst play call given what the Falcons defense is running. The Falcons bring a 5-man rush with man coverage behind it. And all 4 receivers and the running back for the Cardinals have a guy trailing or following them. And what do the Cardinals decide to do? Okay, they're playing man coverage. What do? The Cardinals run 4 hitch routes. If a guy is following you and you want to get away from him, the worst thing you can do is stop. And that's what the Cardinals did. The play call, 4 hitches is solid, I guess, if they're running zone coverage. You can settle in a window and get open. The problem is there's no window here. This is man coverage. There's no windows to settle in. Nobody's open because defenders can just sit and wait next to their receivers. Against man coverage, you want to run away from people. You want to have movement routes, guys running across the field. Put pressure on the defense. Multiple times there are serious errors in the Cardinals' offensive coaching last year and in play calls. It's terrible. Against the 49ers, the Cardinals have 7 guys in to block a 4-man rush, which means that the 49ers had 7 defenders covering 3 wide receivers for the Cardinals. It's a terrible, terrible mismatch. You are not setting your players up to succeed. Look, Josh Rosen's failures as a rookie were not all the coach's fault. Rosen deserves some of the blame too, but certainly the coaching staff played a part in Josh Rosen's struggles as a rookie quarterback. That leads us to the 4th thing. Josh Rosen missed a lot of reads in 2018. He wasn't perfect. The first thing I want to highlight is a bootleg against the Lions. Josh Rosen's first read is wide open. It's a bootleg. He's running to the right, and the comeback immediately in front of his face. His very first read is wide open, and for whatever reason, Josh Rosen doesn't throw it. It's baffling. I don't understand. I mean, this is a concept that Josh Rosen has been running his whole life. Everybody runs a bootleg from Pee-wee football to high school to college, now in the NFL. This should be bread and butter, easy money for Josh Rosen, and for whatever reason, he just doesn't see it. And as an NFL quarterback, you cannot simply just not see your first read wide open. This is a massive mistake by Josh Rosen. There's another concept against the Lions. The safety sits really deep over the top, and the corner sits way too long in a curl, which allows a corner route to come wide open for the Cardinals. And Josh Rosen, again, just doesn't see it. He's looking at that side of the field, but Josh Rosen didn't recognize the corner come wide open. He doesn't understand leverage. He tries to run away. It's not good. Again, Josh Rosen missed another read. Now, you got to also acknowledge the Lions had a three-man rush. A three-man rush should never get pressure that quickly. The Cardinals' offensive line was terrible. But the point is, Josh Rosen still has to recognize leverage. The guy is open. The corner comes open on the bottom part of the screen if you're watching on YouTube, and you got to complete this pass. It's a mess. You can't have that. Next, against the Falcons. Here's an example where Josh Rosen almost does the right thing. He's so close. He does a good job buying time. He extends the play, steps up in the pocket. And on the backside of this play, there is what we have called in high school, we called it a backside rail. It's like a comeback on the backside of the play. It's your fourth read. You go from 1 to 2 to 3, all the way back to 4. The problem is Josh Rosen doesn't work all the way across the field. He forces a ball laid over the middle and throws an interception. He doesn't go all the way through his read progression. He misses another read. Finally, we have the very most frustrating thing I saw on film. It's a very simple slant out concept. Everybody runs this again. This is a concept I guarantee Josh Rosen has been running since 8th grade football. It's a slant with an out. And I wanted to get into Josh Rosen's head. As a kid, in high school, I trained with the Elite 11 guys. They tell you on a slant out concept to read the number 2 man. And it's very possible that the minute Josh Rosen saw the safety, who's actually the number 2 man on this play, the minute he saw that guy break outside, he throws the ball inside to the slant. I'm trying to give Josh Rosen the benefit of the doubt here. I don't really understand what happened here, but maybe that's what happened. But there's a couple of problems with this. First of all, the outcome's wide open. Look at that flat route. It's wide open. And there is no chance the number 2 man, no matter how quickly he tries to get out there, there is no chance the number 2 man can get all the way outside to cover the flat. And really, the way this play works out is a slant works like a natural pick or a screen. Both defenders get caught up in the wash. And more than anything, this is not only a missed read, I think it's also just about reps and understanding. I don't think Josh Rosen understands the leverage here. The number 2 man, the guy who's been reading his whole life since high school, 8th grade, Pee-wee football, that guy in the NFL simply just can't run that far to get all the way to the out. That might be what's happening. Larry Fitzgerald expected the ball, the guy running the out, Larry Fitzgerald, and Josh Rosen just needs reps. He needs to learn through trial and error. Every single one of these mistakes we're talking about from Josh Rosen is ultimately a lesson he can learn from. And that actually leads me to the 5th thing I want to talk about. The 5th thing that defined Josh Rosen's rookie season were tipped passes. It takes reps to understand how to deal with and how to avoid having passes tipped at the line of scrimmage. Here's one against the Falcons. Josh Rosen has a tipped pass, get knocked up in the air, and go for a pick 6. The play side defensive end jumps up and knocks the ball out of the air. There's a way to avoid this. There is a very logical, possible solution. We do this at my school. You can tag your protection. You can tell your play side tackle to go to the defensive end, the guy causing problems, and get hands on him. Make it harder for him to jump up. Some teams tag this, like in high school, we called it a mom, a man-on-man. So you'd call your protection, maybe it's called lion. You'd go lion, mom. So instead of saying normally you say lion, you go lion, mom. That tells the play side tackle to go to the defensive end and not allow him to jump. Put your hands on him. That's one way you can engage the left tackle so the defensive end has a harder time jumping up and tipping the pass. That would have avoided this pick six against the Falcons. Another way to avoid a pick six is don't stare down the play side you're throwing to. If you're going to throw to the left, you know immediately you're going to throw the ball to the left side of the field. Take your eyes somewhere else. Don't telegraph where you're going with the football. If you stare it down the entire time, a defensive lineman's going to know, oh, he's throwing to the left. And that's what happened against the Broncos. There was another play tipped up, got picked off. That is what happened. Multiple times Josh Rosen went through this process. He didn't understand how to avoid getting passes tipped. He didn't know to do a man-on-man, send the tackle to engage, and he just often stared down the side of the field he was throwing to. Another problem the Cardinals had last season was they simply could not win man-to-man matchups downfield. And defenses knew that. Defenses really took advantage of that. They only ran a 4 or 5-man rush the entire year, and a lot of the time, teams that played the Cardinals backed off and played man coverage saying, you can't beat us throwing the football. And they couldn't. Either it was bad play design, there were drop passes, there were bad throws. For whatever reason, and that was 6, by the way, for whatever reason, the Cardinals could not win one-on-one matchups downfield. The 7th thing that defined Josh Rosen in 2018 was a lack of mobility. A couple times Josh Rosen was sacked because he simply could not escape the rush. He was trying to run, he wasn't fast enough, it's not in his skill set, and he got sacked. But even worse, there were times where defenses played to this. They knew that Josh Rosen wasn't going to run and knew that he couldn't run. So an example was on 3rd and 4 in the red zone, the Broncos rushed only 4 guys. They said, we're only going to run a 4-man rush. We're going to drop 7 guys into coverage. And nobody's open. 4 receivers and the running back, everybody has a guy on them. There's a deep safety in the middle of the field. And normally a guy like Kyler Murray, Deshaun Watson, Josh Allen, a guy who can run, would recognize this and say, there's nobody covering me. They dropped everybody back. I'm going to run for the first down. Sadly, again, running simply isn't in Josh Rosen's repertoire. It's not a part of his skill set. And not being able to run really does limit Josh Rosen, especially the way the NFL is changing now. If Josh Rosen could run, he could do a lot more as a quarterback. And simply he can't. And teams know this and play to it. Finally, the 8th thing that defined Josh Rosen during his rookie season was really good throws. We've talked about 7 things that were really bad for Josh Rosen. He also, say what you want, when everything worked out properly, when Josh Rosen was on time, when the offensive line allowed him to hang in the pocket and read the defense properly, and when the coaching staff actually made a good play call, Josh Rosen had success. When everything works, Josh Rosen can play. He's not a horrible quarterback. Made some really good throws. I would not call Josh Rosen a lost cause. A lot of people are ready to give up on him. They're saying he's not good, doesn't have it. Small improvements would make a massive difference for this guy. I think he's actually really close to being a great quarterback. He just needs a little bit of help. He needs better coaching. He needs an offensive line. In 2018, the Cardinals lacked play calling. They lacked creativity with their play calling. Their coaching staff on offense was awful. They didn't take advantage of matchups. They didn't put Josh Rosen in a position to succeed. They didn't help him at all. Yes, he struggled during his rookie year, but it was no more than any rookie struggled in 2018. I don't know. On film, I saw a lot of ugly. I did. I saw a lot of really bad plays and plays I cringed at and said, ooh, that's not good. But I also saw a lot of promise. I don't think Josh Rosen is a horrible quarterback. In fact, I think he's got a lot of really good qualities. The way he plays, there's hope. I believe in him. If he gets a good coaching staff and a good offensive line, Josh Rosen can succeed in the NFL. That's what I saw. I think he could be an outstanding NFL quarterback. He needs an offensive line. He needs better play calling. He needs offensive coaching that can help him. But if he gets the help he needs, Josh Rosen absolutely could be an outstanding NFL quarterback. My name is Zach Schaumler. This is my podcast, Strong Opinion Sports. It is my favorite thing in the entire world. And I want to ask for your help. I want this show to grow. I want more people to watch and more people to listen to this podcast. My dream is to do this show as my full-time job. I want to own it myself. I want to do it on the internet and have complete control. I don't want to do it for CBS or ESPN. I don't want to work for a big network. I want to own it myself. And if you believe in that dream, please do me a huge favor. Help me grow by telling your friends about this podcast. Share it on Facebook, share a link on Twitter, maybe you screenshot it, put it on Instagram. I don't have a marketing strategy beyond this. This is all I have. You know, a lot of people, one of the most common comments I get on YouTube is, you have great content. We love your stuff. You deserve more viewers. What you should do is you should buy ad spaces on Facebook or Twitter or promote yourself and buy revenue, like buy ads. I have no money. I am a broke college kid. I can't buy ad spaces. I don't have money to pay for books. And so my plan, this is my marketing plan, this is my strategy. All I plan to do is put every ounce of effort I have into making the very best podcast I can. I believe if I make a great product that people believe in, that people like, then they will share it with their friends. And so if you agree with that, if you believe in the show, if you like what I do, please do me a huge favor. Tell your friends about it. Help me grow by telling your friends about this podcast.